G'day. G'day. This is the start of an adventure where I share with you a method, a system, an idea for growing and changing and developing. And my hope is that this becomes a giant open source project that you or people like you will join in growing, developing, changing, and adapting this to fit it into your own life, to make your own life easier or more exciting, to be more successful or to have more fulfilling relationships, whatever it might be. The idea at its core is incredibly simple, and it is that you're a circle and you want to grow that circle. That circle is everything you can do. That might be the number of languages you can speak, or instruments you can play, or vehicles you could operate. It might be your vocabulary. It might be how far can you run at a flat chat sprint from this point? How far a bigger circle would that show? And how can we find the ways in which to grow that circle most efficiently, most excitingly? In order to do this, this project is going to involve interviews with people, finding people who have certain fields of excellence, spheres in which they are extraordinary at something, so that we can steal some of that brilliance from them and use it to grow our own circle. So it will be interviews, it will be live training sessions. Perhaps maybe many of you watching this will think, I've got a skill that I think other people could really use here. Because growing your circle is, to me, at its core, it's physics. This whole method to me feels like physics, while I do somewhat disparagingly see other personal development as pseudoscience. So why do I see this as physics? Well, at our very core, that's what we are, isn't it? Everything that is alive on this planet and possibly on others is just that. It's something like a circle that grows. Amongst this giant expanse of nothingness, this infinitely unlikely thing happened just once possibly, where a thing tried to make a copy of itself. It tried to grow its circle. And just because that was the thing that it was doing, and all of the other things were bubbling and boiling and asteroids crashing into one another and stuff was just happening, that one thing just happened. Wasn't good, wasn't bad, wasn't exciting. There was nothing to conceive of it, to find it exciting just yet. But what that eventually became is us, which is incredibly complex and very interesting. And we have, as a species, expanded to the edges of our planet and beyond. And that, to me, is really exciting. Because we've got this opportunity amongst this nothingness to be a flash of brilliance that can look back on the rest of that nothingness and with awe and wonder and experiences that nothing else was ever able to do that. The rocks just rocked around the place. I don't know what they're doing. They're rocks. So what does this mean for you, this growing your circle? Well, that's kind of up to you. You return to first principles, ask yourself what is your goal, and then seek about growing your circle. That might mean being more assertive, being able to say in a meeting, excuse me, I was speaking. Unless you're already really good at doing that, in which case growing your circle might be shutting the fuck up sometimes. It's all about exploration, doing what organisms do at their very core, which is repeat old behaviors with slight changes to find new gaps, new ways to leverage old skills, new ecosystems they can expand into. With minor changes, amazing things happen. And one of the main ways we do that, which this method, I think at this stage is strongly focused on, is through communication. While learning how to operate a chainsaw is really cool fun, and I've done that, I've had the privilege to do a lot of interesting things like that, it's only useful when you need a chainsaw. Whereas interpersonal skills, well, they're useful for attaining the chainsaw skill because you now have an ability to build rapport with somebody so that they want to teach you how they do that. But also to teach that to somebody else so that you're growing your circle and other people's. And then maybe one day you're in charge of a whole team of chainsawers. I don't know. It's getting kind of ropey here, isn't it? But the main point is, while all skills are useful, the main force multiplier seems to be that communication. Because if you think about how far our species has reached to other planets, we've sent probes out of our solar system. We've had humans standing on other heavenly bodies within this one. That's so exciting. But the only way we do that is when lots of us work together. The more of us there are together, the greater our collective circle and the further we can go. So let's focus on that. These videos are going to be coming out. My hope and commitment to you is as regularly as I possibly can. They're all going to be a bit like this one, which is, maybe not all of them are going to be a bit like this one, but slapdash, off the cuff, stream of consciousness, she'll be right on the night stuff. My hope is also that it's going to involve training sessions, Zoom calls where you can participate, sharing some of your skills or sucking up some of somebody else's. I'd really like it if you could join with me on this. And if this sounds exciting to you, let us know. Find a way to, perhaps in the comments down below, tell us what you'd like to learn, what skill you have that you think you could teach us. And together, I think we can do something extraordinary.